We've known about human history and evolution since school. We know exactly how humans came to be. But what if everything we know is a lie? What if humans didn't always live on Earth and came from another place? This is Infinity, and in this episode I'll show you the finds and talk about interesting theories that prove that humans are creatures from another planet. Let's go! Before we get to the findings, let's start with the theories. There is the prison planet theory, which states that humans on Earth are the very real aliens. If you believe this theory, then it turns out that we're all actually the descendants of prisoners who were once brought here from other planets and left to survive. This theory explains the strange aggressiveness and cruelty of humans, and the fact that since ancient times, humans have been fascinated by the stars and celestial bodies. No animal, including the higher primates, is at all interested in the sky and the stars. Beyond that, there are other signs that humans on Earth are strangers. 25-hour schedule. For example, according to some somnologists, the human body clock is more adapted to the 25-hour day than the 24-hour day. According to them, this is why people so often have problems with sleep. The same problems people had many centuries ago. That is, they're not the result of modern rapid lifestyle. According to UFOologists, it most likely indicates that the home planet of people has a 25-hour rotation period. And even thousands of generations later, our bodies are still guided by such a schedule and can't get used to the Earth's day. Persistent chronic diseases. Most people suffer from some form of chronic diseases, even those who think they're healthy. Think about the last time you felt good. I mean really good. When you didn't have a headache, when you didn't have a runny nose from the slightest draft or pollen of plants, when you didn't feel tired, etc. Take even our reaction to the sun. Many animals can be in the sun 24/7 and it does them no harm. People, on the other hand, can get a tan in a few hours, and when exposed to the sun during peak hours, human skin can get sunburned. And if you spend too much time in the sun, there's risk of cancer and other unpleasant diseases. People can't even look at the sun without sunglasses without the risk of damaging their eyesight, although many other living things can do it. We also do not feel the Earth's magnetic field, which birds and many animals feel, and our hearing is extremely poorly developed. Back pain. Back pain is an almost constant companion of old folks and sometimes of the younger generation. A stabbing, nagging, or just aching pain is something that every person on our planet has experienced. It's something that can often cause all kinds of discomfort. It's the pain that spoils your mood and your plans for the day. But what if we look at the animal world from this perspective? Which ones suffer just as often from back pain? That's right, there just aren't any. A possible explanation is that we're used to a completely different gravity on our home planet, and it's probably not as strong. Here on Earth, due to the effect of stronger gravity on our growth, these unpleasant sensations arise. Writer and UFOologist Ellis Silver considers back pain the most important sign that Earth is not the home planet of humans. Complications during childbirth. Animals may have problems with giving birth from time to time, but it doesn't happen anywhere near as often as it does in humans. Before the development of modern medicine, death of critical complications during childbirth was very common. For animals, pregnancy is just as complex a process, but it's still a natural part of the life cycle. Only in humans is it associated with enormous health and life risks. Nowadays, many women cannot carry their babies to term, nor can they give birth naturally because their birth canal is too narrow or for other reasons. Proponents of the prison planet theory believe that the heads of human babies have become too big because of being on Earth, while the woman's body itself has not changed at all, resulting in a more complicated birthing process. Slow development of the human infant. Although the human infant is born with a very large head, its subsequent development is extremely slow. In the animal world, there's nothing like this, even in the higher primates. Chimpanzees and gorillas with lifespan does not differ significantly from that of humans. Only closer to 1.5 years old, the child begins to walk independently. UFOologists are sure that all this is because a human baby actually has to be nurtured for much longer than 9 months, about the same as an elephant, almost 2 years, but not less. If the human infant is born after 2 years of gestation, they'll be completely ready to walk. So what on earth has caused babies to be born earlier? Could it be too much risk of miscarriage due to diseases? Or the large number of predators that could harm women during a long pregnancy? The question remains open. Additional DNA. A few years ago, the Nature scientific journal published a study by scientists who found 223 extra genes in human DNA. They probably came to us from bacteria. But what if it's these genes that distinguish humans from all other living creatures on Earth, and they didn't come to us from bacteria? This part of our DNA is also called junk. Could it be leftovers from our alien ancestors? It should also be noted that not all scientists have accepted the discovery of 223 additional genes. Maybe they just don't want people to know the truth about themselves. Anxiety. Humanity is an extremely anxious community. It's been so in past centuries as well as our technological age. Mortality rates in some countries are rising, and more people are suffering from depression and are on antidepressants. The reasons for anxiety can range from feelings of hopelessness, poverty, and instability in life to trouble at work or in relationships with the other sex. Why are people so uncomfortable among their own kind? No zebra in a dazzle or wolf in a pack feels like a foreign body, but instead feels comfortable and protected around their congeners. Maybe people are solitary creatures, but as history shows, people have always strived for life in communities. So what's the reason? Maybe there's something on Earth that prevents people from feeling comfortable and safe. Some kind of radiation or unsuitable air? The question remains open. Share your thoughts in the comments about that. Do you have your own explanations for the assumption that people are from another planet? And stay tuned, because there are some incredible discoveries further in this episode that suggest that ancient people may have come to Earth from outer space. The Emerald Tablet. From time to time, scientists from various fields of science discover unusual artifacts, the origin of which cannot be established. Proponents of the theory of intervention in such cases advocate an alien origin of objects, once again confirming that humans have not always lived on Earth. One such mysterious find was the Emerald Tablet. Its origin is still shrouded in mystery. Some scholars consider it quite modern and believe that it's written in Arabic in the 18th century. It's said to contain the secret of creating the Philosopher's Stone, which allows one to turn any substance into gold. However, no one has been able to decipher the text of the tablet so far. Unusual map. An amazing object has been discovered in Peru. It's a stone map showing exactly the layout of the territory of the ancient city, showing all the buildings, streets, and drains. Surprisingly, no similar artifacts have been found nearby. It's also unknown why this map was created. The site is located 50 kilometers from the nearest settlement, surrounded only by vegetation. This is quite interesting because it's unlikely that the creators of the map wanted to have free access to any passerby. The map itself is made of sturdy stone, and there are about 30 holes drilled all over it. Apparently, they're designed to prevent the map from flooding in any weather. It's hard to believe that the map was created without any modern topographical tools, so there are certainly plenty of mysteries in this object. Disco Colgante is considered by many scientists to be the first map of our galaxy, and indeed some details point to similarities with the Milky Way. For example, in one of the rays where the Sun is located, there are several points on the layout. According to rough estimates by experts, the disk is more than 2,000 years old. It's not known how ancient people could get such accurate knowledge. Who created this amazing for its time map and for what purpose? Perhaps it was the ancient sages, or perhaps it was their alien counterparts. The Disk of Sabu. This strange object has an almost perfect round shape and is almost 70 centimeters in diameter. It was discovered in 1936 by the British Egyptologist Walter Bryan Emery and dated to 3100 to 3000 BC. After painstaking restoration, the Disk of Sabu intrigued many leading Egyptologists. The disc-shaped object resembles a bowl with a round bottom and has 3 finely carved curved blades with a slope of about 120 degrees around the periphery of the bowl. The object was made from a stone called alurite. It's a porous and brittle rock from which it would be very difficult to carve a single piece, especially one as complex as the Disk of Sabu. The question arises, with such a brittle rock, how is it possible to carve such small and precise parts on the disk? When asking this question, we need to consider the age of the disk, which is 5,000 years. This is very serious. It's believed that the tools used back then were made of stone and copper, which would have made working on the Disk of Sabu extremely difficult, if not impossible. The next mystery is the purpose of this object. Over the years, many convincing theories have emerged. The best known of these states that the disk resembles the steering wheel of a modern automobile. However, it's believed that at the time, the Egyptians did not yet know about the wheel. Other theories suggest that the object could have nothing to do with what existed on Earth then and attribute an alien purpose to the disk. That's all, guys. Which find impressed you the most? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you later.